this section, I want to go over some differences. I want to compare Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. Now, Tesla is a peculiar, quirky individual. Personally, I admire his personality, his work a lot, and I'll probably have an episode on Tesla separately later. But I think that the contrast between Edison and Tesla is so beautiful and rich that it can help illuminate some of the ideas we are trying to clarify here. So first, on studies and intellectual interests, interestingly, like Edison, Tesla didn't get a formal degree. Now, he spent more time at universities twice. His father wanted him to study law, but he studied physics, I think, first, and then he studied mathematics. But in terms of intellectual interests, this is where the difference starts, because Edison, as we said, was very much interested in whatever is practical. What does this idea do? What can I do with this idea? While Tesla had a deep interest in math, of course, physics and mechanical engineering, but he also had an interest in literature, poetry, and philosophy. And here we can start seeing some difference, and this helps understand some other effects or some other choices that each of them made in life. So Edison was more practical, was more focused on trial and error, was more focused on hard work, while Tesla was more visionary and was stronger theoretically. So to speak, he had deeper theoretical understanding. And this is why some of his ideas on the AC current, on the wireless transmission of electrical signals, for example, had the form that they had. Now, again, if we think about Edison, he was involved with 1,000 plus projects. What does this mean? Usually it means that you're involved on 1,000 plus projects in relatively disparate and different fields, right? There is a grid, there is a light bulb, there is a phonograph, there is a motion picture recorder, whatever. They're very different. While Tesla's repertoire was kind of more limited, but much deeper, right? Because he was more theoretically involved. And if you read some of the memoirs of Tesla, you'll be surprised the amount of depth and even mystical or mystical like discussions that he includes. So Edison had a work style that was focused on hard work, on working with others, collaborating with others, while Tesla favored solitude, obviously. So extroverted Edison, introverted Tesla, relentless perseverance Edison, visionary and intuitive Tesla. And here we can appreciate the different approaches, the different ways on which people can be creative. Because as we said, one of Edison's greatest achievements was building all these systems, creating all these systems, bringing all these people together, managing relationships with journalists, something that wasn't even on Tesla's radar, right? He wasn't remotely interested or able to do that on account of his personality. So yeah, project range is different, the approach is different, the view towards collaboration is different, the view towards knowledge is different. And here we can start asking questions. Can we say this is better, this is worse? And we will reflect on this another time as we conclude the discussion here. Now, I want to talk about some aspects of Edison's work that many people will perceive as dark. And the word dark is associated with the light bulb here. So Edison had a very aggressive patenting and litigation strategy. He used / abused the U.S. legal system with patents. He had, as we said, more than 1,000 patents to his name. He didn't create these 1,000 items, right? There were teams working, but he would take credit for the invention because he is the wizard of Menlo Park. Now, mind you, this is a common practice. This was a common practice at the time. So Edison wasn't the only one doing that. Whenever I do something like this, somebody would tell me, yes, but he was a product of his time. This is exactly what I'm saying. He was a product of his time. in this sense. Smear campaigns. So Edison ran all these smear campaigns against his competitors. He controlled journalists. He told journalists what to write, and even without enough knowledge, even himself without enough knowledge, right? He smeared AC uh, electricity as less safe, and we are not exactly sure of that because, as I said, it depends on the technical variables play. But he didn't know that it was less safe, and as a result, the public paid a hefty price because, if, as we know, the transportation, the movement of AC, of alternating current, is much easier and less costly. And this is why most of the globe now uses AC, right? So Edison's campaigns and relentless focus on DC, his semi-monopolistic approaches, something we will call now monopolistic, it led to certain costs that the public had to pay. Edison was involved in building monopolies, bribing not just journalists, but politicians sometimes. I read, I don't know how documented that is, but particularly related to creating one of the first grids, which was an amazing achievement, right? Building an electric grid is an amazing achievement in New York City. Lobbying, corporate espionage. He would pay people to go work for Westinghouse and to reveal some of the projects that Westinghouse was working on. So he was a product of his time. To be able, and this is something we will discuss in the next section, to be able to achieve all this, do you need to be dark? Can you do it without being dark? I'm not sure of the answer.